All right, so Aga T7 over here. Okay, let's remove it from the box. Now, the Aga T7 is the item that I said is YouDe's reply to what the K-Fund is. Okay, so in order for us to properly examine this item, we should examine it next to a K-Fund. So I have another K-Fund in my hand over here. So originally, when you take this item out of the package, it's going to seem really big, but actually it's nothing that you're not already used to if you already have a K-Fund. Because if you went ahead and removed the drip tip off of the K-Fund, and then we put this side by side, they're actually the same size. You know what I mean? If anything, this would just look a little bit bigger because of the wider top. All right, so how do these two atomizers really compare and contrast in the two, right? So in order to do that, I'm just going to have to take this apart and then set it aside over here, so that now you can see that this is the chimney underneath, okay, of the K-Fund. And if we go ahead and remove the chimney, then you'll also get to see the wick and the coil, and basically what you have to work with over here. Okay, so that's all that's inside of a K-Fund, and its performance is already very decent. So if we went ahead, okay, and removed the parts over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove the top cap, the tank. This is an O-ring, and then this is the lower base that supports the chimney. You can see over here the size of the chimney comparison. See what I'm saying? So the deck over here is going to be a native single coil for the K-Fund, while when we remove the chimney on the Aga T7, you'll see many posts over here, and it's going to be a native dual coil. Okay, now what I have in here is a little bit different from the normal setup. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and then show you guys the way the manufacturer intended it to be built, and then we will come back and talk more about what we see over here. Okay. All right, so that was the way the manufacturer had intended the Aga T7 to be built. What did you think of it? The whole crisscross silica build method. Kind of interesting, right? But let's look down again and let me show you the way I would have built it, and you tell me, you know, if you end up owning this item, which one did you like better? Which one did you prefer? Or just by visual, which one do you think is the superior build? Okay, so let's get to it. All right, so now let's talk about this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put this item on a mech mod, right? And I'm going to fire it up once in order to show you the coils that are already built in here, okay? So that you can see them light up. See, instead of what the manufacturer has built, I have two coils side by side like this, okay? So what is happening? Well, what normally they did is that they did a crisscross fashion, right? Where, well, one was built this way, the other one was built that way. But what I don't like about it, okay, is that when the two coils and wicks, and they wick over each other like this with the air hole underneath, you see what I'm saying? This causes some kind of like a obstruction, as opposed to I would rather have my wicks and coils built like this with an air hole blasting up from in between so that there's no obstruction. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so you can see over here, right? Let me focus in this for you a little bit better so that you can have a very close look of what's going on. All right. Here are the coils over here. They're two vertical coils so that they can make the height difference between the opposing posts. All right. Okay. Now let's begin to thread this thing. Right. Now, in order to thread this thing properly, you really must follow this recipe down to a T, okay? Do not try anything else on your own in order to do my method. So, basically with a cotton ball, all right, what you want to do is unravel the cotton ball. When you unravel the cotton ball, it should, kind of unravel out like a carpet. Yeah? Okay, like so. Okay. Right, something like this. Right. Now, what we're going to do is that from this point on, I'm just going to take out all the excess piece over here. Now, I want a third of this strip. Okay, no more, no less. So somewhere around here is about 1/3. Okay, it's not going to be half. It's not going to be a quarter. Just 1/3. That is exactly how much cotton you should be using. All right, because people always talk about, like, if you use too much cotton, then it's not going to wick. If it'll taste burnt. If you use too less of cotton, then what's going to happen is that your tank will get flooded. So exactly 1/3 is the right amount of cotton. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and get my flathead screwdriver. Okay. And then I'm going to start from basically any post, and then I'm going to build a wall. You'll see in a moment. See this? I'm going to go ahead, build a wall. Okay. Right about here is where it connects again. So I'm just going to rip this out. There we go. Here and here. There. Okay. And then I'm going to pack everything down. There, see that? Okay, now I'm gonna get some tweezers ready. Okay, and then with the rest of my cotton over here, I'm just gonna break this one in half and then make 2 little stubs. Okay, take this, feed it through like so. Take this one, spin, 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 feed it through like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and use my precision tweezers over here, pull them in more. Okay, pull in these cottontails more, like so. All right, now I'm going to take the cottontails, right, and I'm going to go ahead and tuck them along with any one of the posts, like that, just any random post. Just go ahead, because what I want to do is that I want it to be touching. All right, so what is the theory of this build? It's actually an advanced cartomizer. Okay, there are wicks over here. We built a wick wall. The wick wall fills with juice from all 4 of the corner slots, and then it touches, our little bunny ears in between, and then this will wick. That's how it works, without ever getting any juice into the air hole over here, so that it doesn't leak out the air holes from the bottom. That is the theory of this thing. Too much cotton is no good. Too little cotton is no good. So from this point on, you guys know me. I love to use large nail clippers to make everything nice and clean. So here we go. There we go. One cut, right? So that once I break this apart over here, you can see down the middle, right? There's actually no obstruction, right? And that's the kind of build that I want. So in order to show you guys the performance of this thing, I normally don't, prime the wicks, but I'm not going to vape on camera either, so I'm just going to go ahead and prime this just to get it going. Okay, I've already put this build together a couple of times already. I made sure it works very well with the right amount of cotton. The first time I did it with a half a strip, too much. I did it with a quarter strip, too little. 1/3 was just right. There we go. Okay. Actually, let me go ahead and clock this thing and then fire it for you real quick. I use 28 gauge Kanthal. I think maybe like 6 wraps on both sides. Like a 0.4, 5.6, close, something like that. Okay. See that? Huge dense vapor. Huge. Okay. And that's what's going to be going on. So it's exactly like, operating a K-fun, except that's what's going on in the bottom. And I gotta say, the performance of this thing, very, very dense. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to put it back together, and then we're done. So from this point on, we need the bottom base over here. Okay, underneath the top cap, gotta make sure the O-ring is here, like so. Put this back on top. Okay, and the tank is an absolute pleasure to fill, really. Along the back of the box, it will come with an Allen key, and the Allen key, you will remove the screw head over here, and then you dip in your syringe, and then you fill the whole thing up. Okay. All right, and that, my friends, is the Aga T7.